How do you know you're doing the right things on LinkedIn? How do you know how much time you should spend? Welcome to another Sales Enablement mini webinar with me, Adrian Hargreaves. Today's guest speaker is Rod Sloan. Rod is an independent LinkedIn consultant trainer and the person to ask about getting the most out of LinkedIn. Welcome to the webinar, Rod.
Thanks, Adrian. Great to be here. I'm really looking forward to our discussion today.
Fantastic. And you know, the thing is, Rod, many salespeople tell me they find social media, it sort of kind of gets in the way of their routine. So they'll say something like, I feel really on it, I feel really busy, I'm trying to make the most out of my day, and then I'm asked to do some social selling, and before I know it, loads of time has gone by. I don't know where the time's gone, I don't know what I've had out of it, and I lose a bit of heart. So I think really, Rod, what the audience are looking for out of today's webinar are some really good tips on how to get into a routine that fits in with a high-powered salesperson's routine rather than slow them down.
Okay. That's fair enough, Adrian. But before we get started, let me ask you the fundamental question, which is, what is LinkedIn?
Well, it's a social media platform.
All right. Well, that's what most people would say. It's a social media platform, or it's some sort of networking thing, or it's a 550 million, as we record today, database. And I would say by thinking about it in those ways, you could probably waste a lot of your effort. The best way to think about LinkedIn, I think, is as a business search engine. So if you think of it as a business search engine where you're competing against maybe 550 million people globally, maybe not 22 million people in the UK, but tens, 20s or hundreds of people who do what you do. So the challenge is, how can you be found when people search for what you do? And they do. Every day they're saying, I'm thinking of using XYZ. Does anybody know one? Anybody using XYZ? So if you look at your job description on LinkedIn, there are hundreds of people on there who do what you do. So by definition, I think you need to stand out. And you can do that in terms of three areas. One, your profile. Two, your network, i.e. who you're connected to. And three, what you do, your activity. So first of all, your profile. Does it answer the question, what results do I get from my target market? Or is it some dull, self-serving job description? So look at yours. And I looked at yours, Adrian, and you listed 3 or 4 different things that you do, and that's fine, but it doesn't answer the fundamental question of the results that you get for your client. So if you look at mine, I say I work with SaaS companies who want to get more business through social or online selling with LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So I say who my market is, on what I do for them and the results. So do you say I do this, I do X for Y, or you just put down something like account manager, consultant, coach, speaker, CEO? Doesn't really serve anybody, doesn't help you at all. So it's really key for your profile to say exactly what you do and who you do it for.
Okay.
So that's your profile. And we could spend not 5 minutes, we could spend 5 hours, 5 days talking about your profile. Have a look at mine. I think you may have put mine as one of the cover slides for this webinar.
I have, yeah.
Secondly, your network. Your network is probably not big enough. Right. So I look at you, I'm connected to just shy of 6,000 people on LinkedIn. And you might say, well, that's a lot, Rod. But it's not really when you think that the town I live in, Ealing, which is a part of London, has over 100,000 people alone on LinkedIn. So I'm connected to 6%, less than 6% of the people in my local town. So I'm not really that well connected.
Mm-hmm.
You need to grow your connected. You need to grow your network with the right prospects. So for me, as I said earlier, CEOs of SaaS companies, they're my target market. Thirdly, I want you to think about your activity. What do you do on it? Do you just put that up there do your profile and say, look at me, world, aren't I wonderful? That won't work for you. You've got to do daily activity. It's like going to the gym, or as I say, training for a marathon. Mo Farah goes out running every day. What's your equivalent of your Mo Farah 10K? What are you doing there every day? I, for example, post every day. I'm not even going to talk about what you should do in groups or how you should use SlideShare. But if you just do those three things, more activity, work on your profile and a stronger network, you'll get closer to what you want to achieve.
Rod, that's absolutely fantastic. Really appreciate those tips. So, for the audience, our audience today, let's just summarize those into two or three takeaways. Takeaway one, I think, is profile, isn't it? Make sure your personal profile is strong on LinkedIn. Takeaway two is network. Grow it through connecting with the right prospects. And finally, takeaway three is activity. Post more regularly. Is that what you're saying, Rod?
I'm saying all of that, and particularly profile. Remember, most people now will look at your profile not on a laptop, but on a mobile. And your profile on a mobile looks different to that on a laptop or a computer. So make sure you look at your profile on um, a mobile or a cell phone or a mobile phone. So that's the thing. Work on a network, be ruthless on that, and think about how can I contribute? How can I add value about what I'm doing? How can I do that? And if you do that, you're well on the way.
Fantastic. Well, we've got four takeaways now, which is even better. And you've certainly added value to everything today, Rod. So thank you for sharing your expertise.
You're welcome. And if anybody's on the line today and want to get a hold of me, then I'm on Rod Sloan. I think I'm on the only Rod Sloan, Sloan as in Sloan Square, on LinkedIn. So please connect with me. I'll connect. And if there's any more critique you want of your profile, hopefully do that. Just say Adrian Hargreaves sent me, and he said you do a good job for me. So happy to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I'm quite prepared to say that, that's for sure, Rod. Thanks again, Rod, and thank you to our audience for giving up your time today. We hope you got some good value out of it. And so until the next Sales Enablement mini webinar, it's bye from me.